Hi, welcome to our week one webinar. And I hope you're feeling as excited as I am as we're getting ready to tomorrow start the program. So 3 weeks, it's going to be an amazing journey, and thank you very much for being part of it. And my goal is, with the program, is to offer a tool that can really help you bring through your higher self, which in turn opens your heart, gets a strong connection to your life purpose, and just brings about a greater quality in your life. And when you've got your higher self through and you're doing what you love and you've got that purpose, I think there's so much joy and satisfaction and bliss that comes into your life, and that's our goal for what we want to achieve in these 3 weeks. So there's some fantastic people from all around the world doing the program. I hope you get to meet many of them in the forum and make some lovely connections there. So tonight I want to go through the workbook, the journal, a few little bits of information that can help you during the first week. And if there's any questions that you have, always use programsupport@gaiaessence.com.au. Now, we may not be able to reply straight away, but within a few hours you should be getting a reply. So any queries, problems, write to program support. And for next week, our week 2 webinar, if you've got some questions, things you'd like maybe discussed in that, my suggestion would be either send an email to program support, and maybe the subject heading could be questions for week 2. You can also put them up on the forum as well. So, I'm mentioning the forum. It's very much the hub of what we're going to be doing. So you get your downloads, you're going to get your workbook, journal. There's a couple of things. There's for one of the exercises this week, you're going to be in water, having a bath. There's one option if you have a bath. We've got alternatives if you don't have a bath. And we suggested you might want to have a candle, lower the lights, and play some whale songs. And we've got the download for one where you can get the whale sounds, if you want to play that one, for example. Now, if you are going to use an iPad or your phone, then I'd recommend that you just download one of the exercises or one of the meditations per day and delete it. Otherwise, you're going to run out of space on your tablet or your phone. Okay, so that would just be an option. It shouldn't be an issue at all if you're working with your computer. Now, for the webinars, we'll hope to give you the link tomorrow evening, which is Australian Eastern Standard Time, and you'll be able to watch it again, or if you are watching the replay now because of the time zone differences, etc., welcome the program to you. And it's an amazing time we're in now. I once heard Chung Fu describe it as, imagine that there's the breath of the universe, or the breath coming from the heart of the divine, our central sun. So there's the breathing out, and that's where things are created. And it's almost like we're on the in-breath now. And very soon we're just starting to have that out-breath. And along that out-breath, that's where creation is manifested. So things have been very dim, if you like, the light. And, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that rhythmic cycle of what's happening. But what we're occurring now is those pulsations, the solar logos rays going out from the heart of the divine into the universe. It's that out-breath. It's starting to create something very powerful again. And that's the impetus. The solar logos rays are the vehicle for transmitting that impulse coming from the heart of the divine to raise consciousness. So Gaia is raising her consciousness, and we are of the earth. We are made up of the elements which are of the earth. And she's our earth mother. And she's wanting the very best for us. She's wanting us to expand and grow along with her rays and consciousness as well. And you know, when the Gaia essence was created, some of you heard the story, it was an amazingly big portal, huge energy came through, which was Gaia. And so many beings of light coming there with her and her message. So, you know, I'm just so full of gratitude that Gaia is willing to come through and create an essence that we can all partake in and use it on our own spiritual journey. And it's her love for us and wanting us to expand our consciousness, bring our higher self through, that why that essence was created. So, you know, it's fantastic. We've got hundreds of people all around the world on the program, working, creating this hub of light, as well as what we're doing within our own individual selves and the community people that we come in contact with. So, you know, I think I mentioned in the introduction to the workbook that basically we're dealing with the that creative energy of the world, and you know, it's powerful. It's going to bring up quite likely some resistance, areas where there's blockage to your heart or bringing through your higher self or your commitment to your life purpose. So, you know, we're doing it in a very supportive group where things coming up, share them on the forum, get some support. You know, the Gaia essence as well will help bring that, and the soul logos. I mean, the purpose of the Gaia essence, one of the main ones, is to anchor so we can take in more of the soul logos energy. So, you know, it can really, you know, burn off the dross, open all those channels so we can express more love, allow more love into our life as well, bring our higher self through. So, you know, we're doing some very strong, deep, powerful work during this 3-week period. And we do have a section in the forum where there's some extra help if, you know, you're processing some spiritual, emotional issues coming up for you. Helps pull you out of any feelings of overwhelm. And the other thing I think it's really paramount to be aware of is that when we're doing this program, there are beings of light working with us, wanting to help us, be of service and help to us. So, you know, in the mornings, you know, when you're about to start your day, call in those energies, align them, ask them for the guidance and for help. You know, I'm suggesting that at the very least you call in Gaia and the soul logos. But if there's other beings on the spiritual plane who you've connected to, you know, ask them for their guidance and help as well. And so a lovely way to start the day. So, you know, one of the things I'll having you do in the journal is doing your dreams when you wake up. We'll talk more about that a little later. But then it's, you know, connecting, bringing in all the spiritual energy, supporting you, and thinking, okay, what's my intention today? But before you get into your intention, align yourself with all your allies, all those beings who want to help and support and help you grow, and give you just total unconditional love. And again, we've got on the forum, there's some very wonderful people doing this program who, you know, ask for their help, their input as well. And of course, you know, if you want something, give it to someone else. So if you're thinking, gee, I'd like to get some support, best way of creating support in your life is giving your support to other people. So Yeah, I'm very excited about this program. It's going to be fantastic. And before we go too much further, let's do a meditation just to let go of things in the day. And, or if you're starting the day, depending on what time zone you're in, then this would be a nice way to start. So, getting yourself nice and comfortable, uncrossing your arms and legs. And unless you're in a lotus position, have them uncrossed. If you're doing a lotus, then by all means, have your legs crossed. Your back straight, heart open, gently close your eyes. And just take in a deep breath through the soles of your feet to your crown. Hold the breath there for a moment, a bit longer. And breathe out through the soles of your feet. Good. And another breath like that. In through the soles of the feet to your crown, holding it there for a moment, and breathing back out through the soles of your feet. And now I want you to be aware of a beam of white light totally encircling you. It's all the way up into the cosmos. Now I want you to take a moment to reflect if there's anything you're wishing to release or let go of. Any physical discomfort, aches, pains, anything on an emotional level. Sadness, worry, frustration. Anything that's affecting you, being really sharp and clear on a mental level that you need to let go of. Let's take a moment and tune in, find what is it you want to release and let go of. And in your mind's eye now, I want you to be aware of a zipper that runs from the crown of your head down the front of your body to the pubic bone. And in your mind's eye, I want you to undo that zipper and see those things you're wishing to release drawn out into the white light to be cleansed and purified. It's almost like metal going to a magnet. To see them leaving you, being purified, released, cleared. Good. And now I want you to put your awareness around your heart, around that solar plexus area. And I want you to send your chi, your life force, your energy from the hara down out through your feet and into the earth. If you're in a building, you'll see that energy going down through the various floors till it gets to ground level and then starting to enter into the earth, deep into Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. Put your energy, and as your energy goes down, just feel very grounded, very anchored, very strong in yourself. Sending your energy down. It's like roots going down in deep into Mother Earth, going deeper, deeper. Now I want you to just be aware of Gaia sending her love to you through those roots that you've sent down. And you're like drawing it up. It's almost like with a straw, drawing it up. All her love and energy, which is flowing to you, just drawing it into your being. And as her love comes in, you notice that that beam of white light around you is getting more and more intense. Now you start to breathe in that white light, in through your open zipper, through the pores of your skin. And every cell in your being is starting to be energized, replenished, refreshed. Taking in this energy, taking in the love from Gaia. Good. When your whole being is filled with the white light in your mind's eye, do the zipper up one more time. And now I want you to ask Gaia, what is the message she has for you, the personal message as you're about to embark upon the Gaia program? And just listen to the answer. It could be a visual, it could be a thought, it could be an inner knowing, it could be a sensation in your body. Just allow and accept whatever message comes. It's Gaia's message for you. You're about to start the program. Good. And knowing there's going to be a lot of communication messages between you and Gaia during these 3 weeks. This is the very beginning. So now, I want you just to draw those energy roots back up. Draw them back, taking it in right to your heart. Just feeling your energy now, just feeling how recharged and refreshed, energized you feel. Beam of white light just dissolves. And on the count of 3, I'm going to get you to come fully back present, open your eyes and have a good stretch. So 1, just be aware of your feet on the ground. 2, be conscious of where you're sitting or lying. 3, open your eyes, have a good stretch, come fully back present. And if you've got a pen with you, I'll just give you a moment if there's anything you want to quickly jot down, just a few bullet points, so you don't forget what that message from Gaia was. Okay. Just to gather a few things here. Okay. It's dealing with the God force of creation, which is what we're about to undertake. So, let's just look at what's going to be happening in this first week. Each day, there's going to be a very specific exercise which you'll find in your workbook. And the workbook you will download from the forum. Okay. So, a lot of the days it's going to be meditation, so it'll be an indoor. It'll tell you whether it's going to be indoor or an outdoor activity. And they won't consume a great deal of time. The meditations on average will be about 10, 12 minutes. And on day 5, there's going to be a fire ceremony. And that takes a little bit of preparation. That's going to take more time than probably any other process. So I've scheduled that so it's going to fall on a Saturday. So, it's on a weekend. We're likely to have a little bit more free time. So you can schedule it morning, afternoon, or late afternoon. But we'll talk more about that as we come in. So, day 1, The intention is to ground yourself and connect on a deep level to Mother Earth and link up with the other participants on the program. Now, this is going to be meditation, so it's quite straightforward. It'll be the day one meditation, which you'll get from the download section in the forum. And when you're doing the meditations, we've suggested that you may like to have a candle lit, just to create a nice energy where you're going to do the meditations. And with meditations, if you're going to be doing them at home, it'll probably be a good idea if you can do it in the same location. It just helps to build up the energy. Now, as well as your guides being present when you're going to be doing the meditations, there's going to be other spiritual beings as well. Certainly Gaia. And you said, if you're calling in other beings, whether it's solar lords and deities connected to the solar logos, also Melchizedek, who's very instrumental in helping to anchor and help in that creation of the solar logos essence. So, you know, there'll be a lot of beings around you. So, yeah. And the day one is a nice way to connect to hundreds of other people who are on the program. And we'll go through the exercise and then we'll talk about the journal. Now, day two, our intention is to feel the energy and the healing power of Gaia, to connect and align to the element of Earth, both around and within us. Now, this is not a meditation, so you're going to be actually going out in nature, and you're going to go for a walk. And, you know, it can be quite good that you take your Gaia essence on rising, retiring, but if you've got a meditation or an exercise, you may want to take your Gaia just before that. So if you're going to do a walk, then you might want to take the Gaia essence just before you go on your walk. And this is just getting out there and experiencing nature. And at the end, I'm going to encourage you to get your hands and put them in the earth. Really feel the texture of the earth. Grounding way. And it'll be up to you how long you want to make that walk on day two. And, you know, that's helping you to connect the element of Earth. So we've got Mother Earth, but this is the element. All four elements, earth, air, fire, and water, are contained within the Earth. And there's actually dragon beings within the Earth who help to balance and maintain the elements. In fact, on day 6, there's a good chance you'll meet up with some of those dragon beings when we go deep into the realms within the Earth. So, day 3, we're going to connect with the element of air. And there's going to be pranayama, which is a Sanskrit term for breath work. So there'll be a meditation, but I'm going to have you do some alternate nostril breathing on day 3 before you do meditation. Now, in the forum, there's a video where I'm demonstrating how to do the pranayama. We've written it down in the workbook, how you do it. But sometimes seeing it will be a little bit easier. So there's a video where I'm explaining and showing you how to do the alternate nostril breathing, as well as being written down in the workbook. So you'll finish your pranayama and then you'll go into the meditation. Okay, that takes us up to day 4, and we're going to deal with the element of water. Now this is where I mentioned earlier, having a bath, if you've got one where you live or you've got access to one, and I'm going to get you to put in your 7 drops of Gaia into the bath. You'll feel like you're getting into a cocoon of the Gaia essence when you're in the water. Have your candle lit. You know, you want to play your whale songs, whale sounds. Yeah. It can be very nurturing. In fact, when you get out of the bath, you may want to, you know, put some Bush Essence Love System skincare products on. with its body or some of the face ones. Now, what happens if you don't have access to a bath? A couple of options. Get a bowl and of the water, make it lukewarm or warmish, and you put your 7 drops of Gaia, and this is going to be dose, same as in the bath, it's dose, and then just splash yourself around the face and what have you in the body if you like as well, with the water that has the Gaia drops in it. Alternatively, if you're near a body of water, it could be a creek, could be a river, could be a lake, could be a sea or an ocean, take a dose of the Gaia essence and then walk by the side of that body of water. Just help you tune in to the element of water. Okay. So then we come to day 5, and this is a fire ceremony. And there's some instructions on how to do it. If you're doing it outside, you can create a little fire, but obviously you need to be careful where it's a grid or stones around, so it's not a total fire ban when you're doing it, or it's no risk of a fire starting from doing it. If you're doing it inside, again, we recommend that you're doing it probably on a very concrete floor, and you can be using container, some sand, various candles. And you're going to bring to the fire ceremony around there things which represent value. The people that really love in your life, you might have photos of them, something that represents it. If you're in a relationship, intimate relationship, you might have wedding ring or a piece of jewelry that represents to you the relationship. Any mementos that are things that are very special and sacred to you. If there's a certain crystal that you love to hold while you meditate, have that there with you. If you've got a picture of a spiritual being that you feel a connection to, have that there. So, have them all around. And you're going to take time just to reflect on what it is that you're wanting to release and let go. Are there, when you once get into a meditative state, you can be asking, where have I got blockages which are stopping my higher self coming through more fully? Or what's stopping me expressing and receiving love more than what I do now? So you're just going to reflect on any of those messages you get and have small pieces of paper, and those things that you're now ready to release, you're going to be offering those off for the fire. At the same time, things that you do want to have, things will give you, you get really excited about thinking, wow, I'd love to have that in my life. Write them down. Have images that represent that. Whether it's, fantastic, vibrant body. It could be something material. It could be a car, a new house. Whatever it is. Could be something that represents a relationship, if that's what you're wanting. It could be a relationship to spirit. It could be to an intimate relationship. It could be you in the community. Having a loving relationship with your community. So any of those things you want to have. So you're going to put that on paper and you're going to offer that to fire to help create. That in a nutshell is the process. And as I've mentioned already, if you're doing it either inside or outside, be very careful and sensible about working with fire. You don't want to burn something or what have you. And hopefully you won't need a dose of murmur for any burns either. But it's a nice ritual and very powerful ceremony. So that's day 5, the element of fire. And that's the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water. And probably in the last 5 weeks or so, I've run the White Light Essence workshop in Brisbane, Melbourne yesterday, and in Sydney. And what I've been doing is that when we've been doing each essence, which talk about, meditate on, then sharing, I've had a particular essential oil for each of the essences. And someone had wrote in today saying, what would be the essential oil that would correspond to Isis, Sol, Logos, and Gaia? And I'm not sure if there's any right or wrong answer to that. You know, when I hadn't thought of it before, actually. But you know, when I thought of Isis, rose came to me. And when I think of Gaia, I think of vetiver. Although, as my mate Chris Hooper, who organised our workshops in Melbourne, has done for the last 25 years, we were discussing it, and she calls it vetiver. So I'm not sure which is the correct way of pronouncing it, but you know, that was one essence that appealed to me as something with vetiver. And Sol Logos, I must admit, I was stumped. It's such a powerful energy. What would be an essential oil that would match that? So I'm going to suggest that as a topic to go on the forum, and I'd love to hear what you think. What would be some essential oils you think might be relevant to those 3 essences which are part of the Divine Presence essence range? So Isis, Sol, Logos, and of course Gaia. So that could be an interesting topic for discussion. Okay, day 6, and this is a meditation, and the meditation will be guided. All the meditations I'm giving you will be guided. And this is where you're going to explore the realms within the earth. And you know, like up until the Gaia essence, I was more or less of the feeling that, you know, well, it's pretty much solid, and you've got, you know, the mantle, and you've got molten lava, and etc. in the center. Now, I had read various reports and books of Admiral Byrd, just 1946, who was flying Antarctica, and his plane just got taken down inside the earth, and there were various beings in the earth who were very concerned because of the nuclear testing, and the message to him was, you must not do any more. And so that was like, wow, there's these realms within the earth. And you know, in my work with Chung Fu and with the Gaia essence, I've been taken in and seen some of those realms, and they're just amazing vistas. There's lakes, there's water, there's huge caverns. It's not solid and dense. And there are various beings within there. It's like, you know, the Tolkien, the Middle Earth. You've got elven people in there. And they're working with us on the surface. And in fact, when you go deep into the earth, then you'll have an earth guide with you. It's like we have, you know, guardian angels when we're doing spiritual work, but when we're going within the earth, especially doing any healing there, there'll be a guide, an earth guide to help show us around. And you know, I'm hoping you're going to make that connection with that being when you're within the earth. And you know, it'd be great to read what some of you experience on the forum when you go deep within the realms of the earth, whether it's beings there or just the magnificent beauty. If beings from outer space seems a strange term, but you know, space beings who are not of the earth, if they come visiting the earth, they don't tend to stay on the surface, and they're beings, they're not in the 3rd dimension, they'll go within the earth. And you know, they describe it as being 100 times more beautiful than what we've got on the surface. And I think our Earth is incredibly beautiful, so you know, the mind boggles if something could be 100 times more beautiful than that. And so there's some of the things that I'm hoping you're going to start to experience and get, and share it on the forum. Okay. And, you know, when we're going the meditations, take a dose of Gaia just before you go into your meditation. Okay. And that brings us up to day 7, which is the last one I'm going to discuss. Days 8 to 14 I'll discuss in a week's time, lead up what we're going to do. And day 7, it's a heart opening exercise. Intention to open your heart even more fully. And again, it will be through a guided meditation. And of course, you know, as we're working with guidance at the end of the week, as we're taking and grounding ourselves more with Gaia, you know, more and more of the soul logos energy becomes flooding into us. And, you know, the raising consciousness is really opening your hearts, clearing those blocks so we can receive and give out more love. So that's the workbook. What goes hand in hand with the workbook is the journal. And, you know, journaling is a very powerful tool. There was one woman who shared at the White Light Essence workshop yesterday saying, you know, she thought, oh, journaling, that sounds like just a lot of time to have to do it and can't see much point. She said, you know, it was fantastic for her, and she'd done both the ISIS and Soul Logos program, of going back and looking at a journal and remembering what she went through, the insights that she had. And also sometimes, you know, when you're journaling, it's like you're getting in touch with more that intuitive self. The mind steps back. And, you know, it's a similar questions that we're going to be giving you in the journal. So when you wake up, I'm going to suggest before you open your eyes, roll over in a different position, just stay where you are, keep your eyes closed, and think about any dreams you had. And then open them, and just even put a few bullet points in your journal under what did you dream last night, so you can recall them. So easy for your dreams to go. And when you're working with these spiritual essences, where it's white light or divine presence, light frequency, you'll find that a lot of information is being given to you through dreams, and also it's indicative of how you're processing and clearing things, so you can get some good insights that way. And then before you do anything else, you've written down your dreams, call in all the spiritual beings that you want around you, guiding, helping, loving, supporting you. And then the focus is question 2, what is my intention for today? And jot that down. Okay. Now, when you come to do the exercise, have your journal with you. So when you've finished, if it's a meditation or it's maybe the fire ceremony, or, you know, it might be walking in nature, for example, some of the things we're doing this week. When you finish, just sit down and record, what was that experience? What happened for you? Did you get any insights? Was there any resistance that you're going through? And there will also be very specific questions each day relating to that exercise. So, for example, on the first day, the question is, what is my present connection to Gaia, and how would I like it to change? Okay? And then there's the recording of your meditation. And the standard question we're going to have throughout all the exercise, the third one is, based upon my experience, what is a choice I can make right now about myself, my life, or my reality? So you've written about it, then taking a bit further, okay, well, from that, okay, what can I do right now? What's the choice I can make right now about myself, my life, my reality? And then we're going to come to the evening. It's an evening reflection. So, you know, last thing at night you take your Gaia, but you may want to be getting ready in bed, just going over your day. What insights did you have? And of course, you know, you've been on that Gaia whole day. Things have been bubbling and brewing. So the question is, having had a day's experiencing the energy of the Gaia essence. How do I feel right now? What additional things have I experienced or noticed today? So that's an example of what you're going to be doing in the journal. Look, sometimes I appreciate you may not be able to do all your journaling on that particular day. So, work out how what you're going to do to resolve that issue. One suggestion I had that, like if you're really busy one morning and get up a lot earlier, you slept in. If you've got a phone, then, go to the voice memo section. And that's not so much a spirit. In the background, that's my dog, Rosie. She's spotted some. Where was I before Rosie started barking? Okay, sorry, lost it. So there is going to be, yes, okay. So if you didn't have time to do your dreams, have your voice memo and just record. And then maybe write it up the next day in a little bit more time. Same as what you do for your evening reflections. If you're just been processing so much and feel really tired and you just want to go to sleep, then, just speak into the voice rather than writing. It'll save you a little bit of time. So, it's good that if you can do your journaling, especially after your exercise, pretty much straight after, because you may forget things. And say, a good friend of mine, Joe Messenger, told me, better to have a short pencil than a long memory. And this is again what the person at the workshop yesterday was saying, that going back and reading the journals, like, oh, wow, I forgot about that insight I had, or, wow, that experience. And I think they're becoming so thick and fast that, by the end of 21 days, you think, wow, it was a lifetime ago, day 2 or day 3. So don't lose any of those wonderful things that you're going to be getting. We've got some specific questions. For example, day 2, after you've been in nature, just contrasting, well, was it any different being on Gaia Essence and walking around than when I normally go in nature? Day 3, we've got a great meditation. And ask you, what did the planet look like when you looked down from space at Mother Earth? What was it like being in the water? Now, there's some questions in the workbook with the fire ceremony, but there's also in the journal as well. I mentioned day 6 going to a different realm. So, and also a question about the Earth Guardian that you're going to meet down there. And day 7 is the opening the heart. So I'm going to ask you, how easy was it for you to be opening your heart? And when you, after opening your heart, how did that feel? How was that for you? So, there's some questions which will be common throughout the journal, but there'll be very specific ones based on each day's exercise. And the other thing in the journaling, it's good if you can do it in nice, peaceful locations where you won't get disturbed. That's happening. So, you may want to have it by your bed. You've journaled, the last thing, your evening reflections, then your dreams and your intention to start the day. And if you're getting some wonderful experiences, don't just keep it to yourself in your journal. Go to the forum, share it with others. It's very inspiring seeing what others are doing and get some communication, contact, interacting. I think the more you interact on the journal, I think that'll just enhance your experience on the forum. Okay, I think that's got a couple of general things here. I think I mentioned that you can also get the meditations on SoundCloud, which is probably not going to take up as much space if you're going to use it on your phone or your iPad. If you're playing SoundCloud, allow, you know, maybe sometimes even up to 10 seconds from when you hit the play before it starts giving you your recording. So don't be too concerned if it doesn't come on straight away. The other thing is, get onto the forum as soon as possible. Feel comfortable moving around and how to use it. And you have got information on how to use your forum as well. Look, there are a couple of countries where the post can be a bit notorious. Two of my teachers in Brazil, Jonsia and Christiana, they wrote in, look, they still hadn't received the essence. And what I said to them was that, you know, give you a couple of days grace. You can write Gaia essence on a small piece of paper, put a glass of water over the piece of paper that you've written the Gaia essence on, leave it overnight. In the morning you can drink it. It will be charged up. You can do this for a few days just to help you wait until the Gaia essence comes. And don't forget that the bottle you receive is a stock bottle. That you want to take 7 drops from your stock bottle and put it in, say, a 10 or a 15 ml bottle. It's got about 1/3 brandy, 2/3 water. And you add your 7 drops of stock to that, and that's your dosage bottle. So that's what you take, your 7 drops on rising, 7 drops on retiring. Now, if it's a bigger bottle than 15 ml, let's say it's 30 ml, you need to put in 14 drops of stock of Gaia. So every 15 ml you go up, so from 31 to 45 ml, you'd be putting 21 drops. So 7 drops for every 15 ml of your dosage bottle. You're not taking any other bush essences, so you wouldn't be taking Cognos essence for the whole time you're doing the Gaia program. So Gaia is taken by itself. You're not mixing Isis or Sol Logos in with your Gaia essence, just Gaia. Now, if you have some bad news, or you have an accident, you fall over, you feel a bit shaken up, by all means you can have a dose or 2 of emergency essence. Just you wouldn't be taking emergency essence for the full 2-week period that you're doing the Gaia. You know, if at work, you know, you're feeling a bit unfocused and overwhelmed and you've got a deadline to meet, take a dose of Cognos. There's a one-off one to help you. That's fine. Some of you are traveling by plane. You know, and some people are doing long trips. One person traveling from Australia to Burma. So I've said, hey, fine, when you're in the plane, take your travel essence. In the regime for travel essence, 7 drops every hour while you're in the plane, while you're awake. So that's quite okay to take your travel essence at a dosage like that when you're flying. So, you know, do what's going to work for you. It's going to help you. That's quite okay. Okay. There will be a replay link that will be sent to you, and you should get that about tomorrow night. And there'll be a new registration link sent to you for the week 2 webinar. So don't go and use this one. You'll get a new one sent to you. Now I'm just going to do a quick check with Yvonne and Mika, who are helping and supporting on the program. And so, no, okay, Yvonne's nodding, everything's going quite okay, so that's great. I know, Mika, if there's been issues or questions coming up around the actual program itself, she's been answering those. And again, don't forget, you've got program support. Don't contact Australian Bush Flower Essences. It's the program support at gaiaessence.com.au. So, if you've got a problem, just briefly mention what the problem is, what you've done to try and correct it, and then send that through. And we'll answer you as soon as we can. Just with the different time zones, just be aware that you might be thinking, well, how come I haven't got a response, but the person on program support could be 2 a.m. in the morning their time. So, we'll get to them as soon as we can, and we know how frustrating it can be when things not working. We're here to help. We'll make it work. Don't worry. We'll get it flowing. So, have a fantastic week 1. May the force, all the spiritual beings, and as I said, the God force of creation is working with us. So have a fantastic time. Thank you for watching the webinar, and thanks again for being part of the program. Okay. All the very best. Have a great week. See you.